All right, here we are at episode 9 of the Foundry podcast. I'm Scott.
And I'm Christy McCulley.
All right, cool. We're back and ready to jump in. Christy, I know today's topic is kind of near and dear to your heart, given your background, and this is, of course, the podcast where we're talking about the homeschool option for students. And just admittedly, when you first said, Scott, we ought to have an option where homeschoolers could participate, I was like, wait, this isn't a homeschool at school, but I think you've completely convinced me. I think this is a fantastic opportunity for homeschoolers out there and for the Foundry. So I know the folks out there are eager to hear about it. So just to jump in, can you tell us a little bit about your background in the homeschool and how this fits in with the Foundry?
Absolutely. I actually homeschooled my kids through high school. But I've always said that this is the school that I wish existed when they were young. My son in particular is not the type student who thrived sitting in a desk for 6 hours and having to listen to lectures all day long.
Does anybody?
No, well, there's some people that are more
either.
successful than others. But, he was a tech whiz. He was a button pusher from the get-go.
Hands-on.
Yep, self-learner. It was amazing what this kid could accomplish, but it wasn't in the traditional setting. When he was little, when he was in first grade even, he was in public school, and I was brought in for a teacher conference, and the teacher pulled out this little dictionary that they had made, and each page was a different letter, and they had drawn the word dog, and he had made the tail of the G into the tail of a dog, and daisies, he'd put a daisy chain around it and everything. Yeah. I thought it was really cute and really creative, but the teacher said that he got in trouble because he wasn't following directions. He was doing this instead of following what they were doing in class. But I know my son, and I realized what he was doing was trying to make it interesting, because sitting there and listening to the lectures, even at first grade, was just not something that he was real good at.
Right.
So we homeschooled, and we loved it most of the time. But as the kids got older, it became very apparent that they both needed to be able to take instruction from someone besides me, that they needed subjects that I wasn't particularly confident in teaching, and then they needed to be able to learn and collaborate with others on projects. It's kind of hard when you're a class of 2.
The collaboration aspect? Yeah, I can see that.
Absolutely. And it's even worse when that other one is your sister.
All right, let's collaborate.
Yeah.
Oh, your sister.
Yeah.
I'm sure that worked out well.
Oh, I could tell
learning.
You stories. Yeah. But anyway, and to be honest, my kids had reached a point in their lives when they wanted friends. They wanted and needed to have some other authority figure in their lives besides me. I was school, I was home, I was everything, and they needed somebody else. I needed to be able to shift to more of a support role, but I couldn't find anyone to be able to take over those academics in a format that my son could thrive in. So that's one of the reasons why it was important to me that when we created the Foundry, that homeschoolers could be included. We wanted to give all students an option, an option that we think is really desperately needed to meet the future needs of our students to survive and thrive in a rapidly changing digital age.
Gotcha. So can you talk a little bit specifically how this is going to work into the Foundry?
Absolutely. Did you know that there's actually states that allow homeschoolers to participate in electives and sports and even take classes, just a few classes, at a public school?
No, unfortunately, but
well, I mean, your experience is
yeah,
in Georgia,
sure.
And Georgia doesn't allow that, unfortunately. And I've heard the homeschool community beg for so long to be invited to the table, to be able to participate part-time in a school setting. The Foundry allows that to happen. We have a 3-day program where students can take the math, science, language 2 days and participate on project day on Friday. Or they could take the humanities, graphic arts program those 2 days with the project day on Friday. This 3-day program is designed for homeschoolers. The tuition's reduced, of course, and it still allows the students to be considered a high schooler. They get an accredited transcript. They have access to advisory, the travel with the school. They have access to subject experts. The That they have access to the college prep, the academics, to projects,
everything the Foundry
else.
offers. It sounds to me like it's the
Absolutely.
best of both worlds. You know, you get the homeschooling option, the reason that they're homeschooling in the first place, but all of the experiential, project-based side of things that the Foundry will offer.
Yeah, and it gives mom and dad a break.
Yeah, I'm sure they'd appreciate that. Cool. Is that it?
Yes, that's it.
Awesome. Man, we're keeping these relatively short. Anyway,
Doing our best, okay?
I know it's hard for you, but we're getting there. Cool. Well, we'll wrap this one up, and we'll see everybody on the next one.
All right.